To answer the guy that asked the question about how they're proud to be in the States and are you proud to be in Ecuador, I'm not just happy I'm in Ecuador. I wouldn't trade places with you for the world. I wouldn't trade places with you. I wouldn't trade with the guy that's in the States for the world. I don't care. All this little stuff is just details, because the weightier matter I'll leave you with that. Okay, so I've got a good report. I'm starting to find some sellers at the Mercado that I'm confident and comfortable that they're honest. I'm just saying that the sellers that I've made purchases from, I know for sure that I'm getting the proper prices, so I'm returning to them, buying as much as possible. However, there are some scams going on in the Mercado. For example, I bought this bag. The strawberries are $1 a pound at the Mercado, and I bought this from the honest seller. And I was walking by a different seller, and she was yelling out when I walked by, £1.50, $1, £1.50. Now she did use a scale, but I didn't have my glasses. And she looked right at me and smiled like, yeah, it's £1.50. I look at the bags. This is supposed to be the £1.50 bag, and this is the one I bought from my regular seller, the honest seller, and this is a pound. She did put a little extra for yappa, but still, even if you take a little bit off the top, remember this is supposed to be £1.50. So even if you take the yappa off, yappa just means a little extra for goodwill, and so the pound, this is supposed to be £1.50, and it's actually less. I don't know what game she's playing, but she's got it down really well because I got suckered. You know how it goes. I just thought I would mention that. I'm usually really on my toes, but it can happen to anybody. Yeah, I didn't have my glasses. What can I say? I want to add too that the honest seller uses large scales that we're used to seeing in stores. I could easily see what was being weighed without my glasses, but a lot of the sellers use these little tiny handheld plastic scales, and the numbers are tiny, and unless you get your glasses out and look at it real close, you don't know what's going on. So, well, I don't. Hey guys, well, I'm in the middle of this project right here. As you know, the chair is needing some work. I'll show you in a second. But it brings me to a thought that this channel, and what this channel is about. The channel is about HM family life. It started out in 2010, 2009, somewhere in there. And it chronicles the journey of our life living on small means. And part of that journey is coming to Ecuador. And so it chronicles our experiences in Ecuador as we experience them. And so I'll do the best I can to show you, the city and all, but part of that picture is me being in the city, in the area, in the location, me being in Salinas, my experience of being a gringo with an untypical background. I was born and raised in southern Italy as a boy, but that only serves as a kind of an imprint that gives me a foundational understanding of things. It doesn't, I mean, I was only a boy, 9 years old, 10, 11 years old, 12 years old. So that does mean a lot, but seeing that I've spent most of my adult life in the rest of my adult life in North America and now South America, I like to tell you about the little experiences and perspectives, insights, perspectives, and experiences. That's really what it is. Experiences, insights, and perspective. Pie. Pie. It spells pie. Perspectives, insights, and experiences. So that's my pie, guys. Getting back to the project, check it out. This is the chair I was talking about earlier. That every time I come up with a fabric, because what happened is the fabric on it ripped. I just want you to know how is this relevant, in a way, in what way it's relevant. And I feel like it's relevant because, well, for one thing, this is one out of 2 pieces of furniture we did not build ourselves, and it's the one that ripped and broke. And that's something. So that's one aspect of it. Every piece of fabric I come up with, I'm told, well, that's going to rip, it's going to rip, it's going to rip. So I came up with this idea, guys. See what you think. I've got chicken wire here, and can you see it? I got chicken wire as a support, and then I've got these electrical ties to hold it down. Then I'm going to put this strip of carpet we bought a long time ago, which Angela says it'll rip, and I agree because it's just got that cheap jute backing. But it's going to have the chicken wire support. What's this got to do with living in Ecuador, South America, or abroad? Somebody asked, a lot of us foreigners, it was a big deal to go to the U.S. and become citizens, and we're proud of that. Are you proud of going to Ecuador and becoming an Ecuadorian? And the short answer is yes. I'm glad that I'm here. But to go further, the Ecuadorians are very resourceful people. When I say the Ecuadorians, of course, whenever you make generalized statements like that, there's always exceptions. We all know that. And sometimes I really cut to the chase with the terminology because I don't want to bore people. But yeah, there's always exceptions. But when you're out in public and you make generalized statements, somebody has to sit there and call you on it and say, not all Ecuadorians are like that, blah, 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 blah. Okay, do whatever you wish, write whatever you want, thumbs it down, whatever you need to do. It doesn't matter. The Ecuadorian culture in general is a very resourceful culture. Things get fixed. They don't get thrown out. It's the complete opposite of North American ways of doing things. And I know that a lot of North Americans are resourceful. When I say that, I realize there's a lot of almost a back to the land, somewhat of an embryo movement, get out to the country, get away from it all kind of thing going on right now too. But generally speaking, the U.S. is a throwaway culture, and the Ecuadorian culture is more resourceful and more do-it-yourself. And to answer the question about the last question, I feel like I'm more like the Ecuadorian. I'm more comfortable and would much rather be a neighbor and have neighbors I am able to blend in with and be more like them and them more like me. So yes, I'm very happy to be here. I'm very happy to be in Ecuador, and I'm very content and happy to be among the Ecuadorians, and I'm being resourceful. That's part of coming down here to South America and living on small means, isn't it? Some people might just throw this chair out or give it away and just buy a new one. You know, I'm not in that camp at the moment. So this is my plan. I'm going to put the rug here, and I'm going to get a silicone tube, glue it on there, and then bolt it also. So I'm going to glue it and bolt it. So I'm going to need 3 bolts. Okay. Well, it works. I went to 4 different hardware stores. It turns out the bolts, they're just normal bolts, everyday bolts, but there was special bolt places I had to go to, which is fine. I just had to go to 4 different places. 3 of them said the same things. You got to go to the bolt store. So it works.